Okay, I'm ready to go to the gym, and I have some thoughts just before I start my session. So I've started to build on how organized these sessions are. I already made myself a weightlifting workout plan, just making sure that I train every single part of the body. With not much deep thought behind it, but I'm gonna follow it, and then when I deem it appropriate, I will further build on that, change it, however I think I need to. But for now, it's certainly going to do the job. I have put my plans for what I wanted to do on Google Spreadsheets after seeing a YouTuber called James Scholes, Scholz. In the bio, or on the bottom right of the channel banner, you can see a streaming schedule, which I saw last night. I clicked on it, I copied and pasted it into a different document, and I thought that planning with the help, in all aspects of life, planning with the help of this streaming schedule could mean that I get really far outside of what I do off camera. So I've done some planning unrelated to the channel using spreadsheets because I saw that, and because I thought, you know what, just copy and paste. Just copy and paste it. Just copy and paste the streaming schedule so I can write my thoughts down about it. I haven't gone as I haven't made my planning as time-based as he has, but I think the plans are going to suit my goals, my aims, rather than completely following his style, which fits his goals and his aims, not mine. But anyway, I am gonna train traps, quads, I think, and some other stuff. I've taken a picture from of the spreadsheets where I said what I wanted to train today on my phone, so there's no guessing, and I don't have to revise it. On that note, I've got my water with me, I've got my wrist wraps with me. I'm ready to go. And before I do show the footage of the session, I do have one more thing to say. So I've got my, as you've just seen there, I have my exercise equipment out, so it's more convenient for me to get whatever I want there. I could just get whatever I want there out. I took it from, I'm in my sister's room right now, but I took that box from my room and I just left it out there because the thought popped into my mind that I can make training more convenient, like doing boxing, for example, which I have the wrist wraps for, a lot more convenient. And I could measure myself more conveniently with the help of this as well. I don't even know whose this is, but it's certainly not mine. I didn't buy it, but yeah, I could also add my scale in here if I really wanted, and my blood pressure monitor when I get them. Yeah, but anyway, I am ready to go. Let's do this. Cheers to having another exercise session, and cheers to pushing myself yet again, once again. Let's go. Full battery, charged up, ready to go. Increasing the speed to 4.5 kilometers right now. Ready to have another solid session. I do need to check what I'm doing, but other than that, just go on the phone quickly, go on my camera roll, then I'm ready. Let's do this. I am now at 4.5 kilometers, half a minute in. needs to be done. Thou shalt hydrate, kids, and fully grown adults as well. We're not exempt from hydration. I need earphones to protect myself from this mind pollution they call radio. I want AirPods, get myself a new phone as well. That'd be pretty nice. Get myself a fancy one. Protect myself from this BS. Full and hydrated. Battery full. This is going to be a fun one. I'll make sure of it. No pain. Actually, very slight pain on big toe joint and pinky toe joint on left foot. Other than that, not much. None on my right foot at all. I need to get checked out. I've planned for when I'm going to get checked out. I'm going to do it on that day. I will. I absolutely will. Don't wish for it, work for it, the poster says. That's why I'm looking at that direction. Yeah. Can certainly live by that phrase, yeah. Might actually do that from now on, who knows? 5 minutes done. Right, let's do this. This has taken such a long while to edit because I was editing the conversation that I had and that I wanted to keep in the video because I learned from that conversation. I would not have otherwise known that I could have used the board, which you'll see later on at around the 39-minute mark, if I didn't have the conversation with who I've decided to call the big man. I'm going to find out when I had the conversation with the guy, timestamp wise, and then if you want to go straight to that, then you'll see what I mean. Oh my gosh, let me try that again. I had the conversation with the guy at 21 minutes and 28 seconds. That's when I started talking to him because I was seeing him lift what I thought was a full stack on the leg press. It's a different sort of leg press compared to the one that I've shown in the previous gym that I went to during the weightlifting logs. It's one where you bring your upper body close to your lower body, like you're wanting to curl up into a ball, and then you push with your legs. I'll probably show it in later logs as I train my legs, so that will make more sense in the future. But yeah, that's the timestamp for the conversation. When I started having the conversation with the guy, I learned quite a bit from that, and what I have learned, the fact that I can use the board, is something that I can use for as long as I'm there. It doesn't have to be just, I don't have to use it just for learning how to do the handstands. I can do it for when I want to dumbbell curl with a straight back, like how he said he does. Without that conversation, I would have thought that the board that I show around the 39-minute mark would be able to slide, because it didn't look like it was complete. It didn't look like it was attached to the wall, so I thought it could turn around. It looked like a thin piece of metal to me. But no, I know from personal experience, it is solid and it's not going anywhere. Don't go anywhere, you fucking mad. Anyway, here I am doing my stretches. I don't think I really missed a body part other than lower back by twisting my body from side to side, which is a stretch that I'll incorporate in the rest of my workouts. To especially, well, actually no, not especially when I'm doing deadlifting, but just in general. I'm not exempt from lower back injuries just because I'm not doing deadlifts on a certain day of the week, or just because I'm not trying to train my core, my lower back, the lower back part of my core on a certain day of the week. It doesn't matter. So I'll certainly be incorporating the stretch that I'm thinking of no matter what. Unless I am thinking of doing a different exercise which allows me to stretch that same part of my core. Apologies for the small images where my top is into the and where my left leg is. I had to do that for anonymity reasons, and I purposefully didn't do it where by the bench press machine where the guy just walked off because he was training there, and I didn't want to disturb him. I don't think it would be fair of me to do that, because it would be me potentially just, in his perspective, just putting a camera in his face, and in his mind maybe purposefully trying to record him for whatever reason. He doesn't know. I know I wouldn't be doing it. I know I'm not doing it with malice intent, and I'm recording just to get my session done. But in order to not disturb him, yeah, I didn't do my stretches where I have done for the past couple of days. But I can, if there's no one there, I can do that tomorrow. If there is someone there and I think it's okay, and I've gone out of my way to not show their face, so it doesn't seem like there's a camera in their face, then I think that's cool. But anyway, going back to the session, as you can see, I'm stretching my hips. I didn't think of doing this in the past, but I did it in order to stretch my, as a part of stretching my entire body. I did my arm circles as you're seeing here when starting off the session, but I didn't do it when ending the session as far as I'm aware. So I did them again off camera after final clips that I made outside of the gym to end the session. I had to get out of there because the gym was gonna close soon, but I still wanted to get my stretches on camera, so I just found a convenient place to go and stretch somewhere else. Yeah, but in order to not rush the session, which I'm going to start talking about now, I would like to start going to the gym a lot earlier, regardless of which day it is in the week, so that I don't rush like how I've done today, and therefore increase the likelihood of me injuring myself. I'm not going to go out of my way to voluntarily do that. I, as a human being, am at risk of injury enough as it is, as far as I'm concerned. So I'm not going to go out of my way to further increase the likelihood that I injure myself. Nope. Speaking of, in order to help me, I have got my wrist wraps, which I use when I deadlift, but in order for the deadlift movement to feel more comfortable in my hands and to prevent me getting calluses, what I'm going to do is I'm gonna always have my gloves with me, and as I showed at the start of the video, I put the storage box where my gloves are right there. They're literally right in front of me, so I can always just get my wrist wraps and get my gloves, and that's me done and ready, especially for when I'm lifting heavy weights with that deadlifting equipment. I don't deadlifting bar. It's the one in the middle of the screen at the bottom, in the bottom middle, where my right foot is, to the left of where my right foot is. Yeah. Little did I know, that thing weighs 25 kg. 25. Wow. It certainly does weigh a lot. But it did feel easier to carry after doing a 65 kilogram deadlift. That might not seem like much to some, but for me, this is a PB. Also, I'd like to mention that I found it easier to carry my weight plates. Oh, by the way, this is me trying to stretch my forearms, because I didn't think of the fact that I could do forearm curls to do that, but I don't need to go to the other side of the gym to do that. That will do. I was just counting in my head, doing it to the beat, moving my arms to the beat so that I get my body moving, which was rather convenient and certainly can do next time. That would probably spice things up and keep things interesting, because the tunes would be different every time I'm there in the gym. Sometimes they might be the same, but for the most part, they probably wouldn't be the same at exactly the same time. What are the odds? Every time? Nah, I don't think so. That would be quite interesting if that were the case, though. If certain radios played exactly the same tunes at exactly the same times for each part of the day. Maybe they actually do that. I mean, I wouldn't put it past them, because people are doing whatever they're doing at certain times of the day, which the radio stations are probably aware of, yeah. For example, they might go out of their way to play something quite upbeat during the start of the day, as they know that people are going to be going to work and people are going to be going to school. And then after work and after school, they might do the same thing. And then during the times that they are in school, they probably, I don't know. I say probably as if I know. I don't know. I can only really speculate. I don't work in the radio stations. But it is something interesting to think about. However, right here, I'm trying to just really stretch my wrists. That actually did work, to be fair. I was shaking from side to side to stretch my wrist from side to side. Just stretch the side of my wrists, sorry. Yeah, that actually I did feel quite a stretch. Oh, by the way, the conversation is going to be coming up soon in a couple of minutes. So I'll talk and then that will play for less than 10 minutes. 8 minutes and 50 seconds, I think. Yeah. Seeing as the conversation with who I've decided to call the big man is coming up, I'm actually going to talk about my thoughts before we spoke to each other, as we were just right opposite each other, whilst I was doing the handstands and he was on the leg press. I thought that he was watching me and he was going to tell me to not record, but no, he was more than alright. He was solid. Pleasant person to speak to, very pleasant. However, I didn't know that at the time, and because he was so muscular, I thought he was just looking at me, staring at me, about to tell me, no, you can't record here or whatever. Or maybe he was going to tell me, oh, what am I doing? Could be fear / social anxiety that I'm working through at the moment. I've certainly worked through that somewhat, but I clearly need to do that more, seeing as these were the thoughts that were genuinely on my mind at the time. Irrational thoughts, albeit, but those were the thoughts that were on my mind. And from time to time, I do have to tell myself that I don't fear these people, certain muscular people and younger people that come into the gym every now and then, because I once was feeling very afraid because of the mental health load that I've spoken about in the 1 year life transformation journey video that I uploaded on the 20th of August. It's within the serious series, and also I think the major events playlist as well. For those unaware, the serious series is the playlist that I've made for very serious talks on my mind that I wanted to get out on YouTube. It started off from a very dark place, as the video that I made, the very first video that I made was not clickbait, hence I called it serious video. And then from there, an entire series based on serious talks blossomed. The talks were very, 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 very deep to begin with, and although they still very much are that way, they aren't about working through extremely dark thoughts like how they were in the past and all that resentment that I had towards myself and the people around me, family, friends, and the people I called my friends, so-called friends. But anyway, the conversation's going to play now, so I'm going to stop talking.
Nice work, man. Is that a full stack?
160. I've been here nearly 3 hours, so
I'm trying to learn how to do handstands.
I'm glad about mate.
No wonder.
Yeah. I'm nearly done, so I've got one more and then 3 on that one and then done. So you learn to do handstands?
That's right.
Yeah.
So I don't want to just lift weights.
That's good. I box as well, box twice a week, so I run as well, so I don't just do weights. It's good over there for doing the handstands. See that board there? It's got the numbers on it.
I didn't know that was full.
Yeah, you get a lot of people doing handstands on that, swing into it, doing like, you know, like handstand push-ups but yeah, you've got your gauges of where you pull your feet up, haven't you? 1, 2, 3.
That actually could be very helpful, because I have numbers to be able to notify how far I'm progressing.
Yeah.
I didn't know that's what it was for.
Yeah, well that's all I ever see people doing it on there, so, you know, I'm guessing it's for that. I don't use it for that.
Is it stable though? It doesn't turn?
It doesn't turn, no, it's solid. Because the only thing I do is I stand against it to do like straight back arm curls, and it's rock solid. Yeah. And it's rubber floor under you, so if you do fall, you get carpet down your face. Yeah.
Also, I'm thinking of doing, when I get them, I'd like to have some gymnastics rings and use them where the bench press is.
Yeah, you have got some there. You could hang them off the bars, couldn't you, and go up on them. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's it. I'm on.
Yeah, it's good.
This gym fits my goals a lot more than that gym did. I just found it quite restrictive. I couldn't challenge myself how much I would like to. That is not a problem.
I like this place.
Yes,
You find this gym, there's a lot of nice people up here.
I was expecting. See, because you're quite muscular, I was thinking, oh no, big scary.
No. Just I'm friendly. I like friendly, kind people. You go to them other gyms, but everyone's got a history of each other. No one talks to each other. Everyone stares each other out, and I don't like all that. I like to just come up to gym every time. I'm social. If you ever need any help, I'm sure you know what you're doing, but let's start with.
Well, I certainly would like to put on some more muscle, like how you've done.
It's diet, really. Yeah. So it just all depends on how much protein you're taking in, really. So to put on more size, you've got to be up in your intake of food. And that's not like fatty foods, like high protein foods. So I eat a lot of fish. seafood, chicken.
So say you were to have a meal that did have some carbs in it, like maybe some rice.
Carbs is fine because.
Oh no, I'm not against it. That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But what I'm getting at is, if you were to have a meal with that, how many salmon fillets, for example, would you have?
How many what?
Salmon fillets with that, for example.
Well, whatever you can take, just eat what you can take. You don't want to be making yourself sick, but like my aim per day is to hit about 170 grams of protein.
Wow, that's it. That's
170 to 200.
Yeah, okay.
And as long as you're taking in more than what you should be taking in, by about, sort of 60, 70 grams, you're going to gain.
Yeah, I certainly am going to gain weight. I put myself in the past too. In the past, usually, I do a lot of bulk lifting, and with the bulk lifting, I have about 250 grams of that bulk per meal, with some other things on the side, maybe like some hummus and some coleslaw, like I did with pasta bake today. I've now upped that from 250 to 300, around about that. So I feel full, agile. I'm eating more than I was in the past, but I don't eat too much to the point that I feel stuffed in a couple.
Yeah,
That's
it's
the
really.
pattern. I think there's no way I won't be able to at least gain weight. Even if I'm saying I weigh about 72 kg now, as of a couple of days ago, Friday, when I weighed myself. I'm trying to get to around 90, so that I bulk up a lot in and taking. If I go to that much, I'd be taking both fat and muscle into account. I would be thinking, okay, if I get up to 85, which is where I really want to be, I wouldn't be going about in a delusional way thinking, I'm only going to put on muscle to account because that's just not how the body works.
No,
so I'm going to go higher than 85, which is where I want to be, and then cut down.
I'm just bulking at the moment.
Oh yeah.
So I'll bulk for like 12 weeks, and then I do change my diet where I'll strip back down, so I can see what muscle I've actually built. You can't see a lot of the muscle when you're bulking all the time, like the defined body that you want to see. But I'm just bulking. But I'm your weight. I might look heavier, but I'm not.
Seriously?
Yeah, I'm 72 kg. But then you're a lot taller than me.
Just smaller than 6'2". Just about 6'1".
Yeah, but I'm 5'2". So you're a bit taller than me.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm still your weight, 72 kg. I want to get to about 75, 80, and that's it.
You're 72 kg for your height is my equivalent of around 85 to 90.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, from my height, whereas I'm like 11 and a quarter stone, which is about 72 kg.
Yeah, you've obviously done a lot of work in years. I guess
I've only been back 15 months. So 15 months I've done a 2 stone gain. Since before my daughter was born, so my daughter's 12 now. So 13 years on and off.
Yeah.
But I haven't been consistent with it all the way through. I'd be like 2 years of rock solid training, and then I'd have a year off, and But this time round, I won't stop. I'll just keep going.
For you and your family?
It was just, different reasons for stopping, which won't happen again. So, but I love. No, I love training.
I don't think stopping is necessarily something you should be engaged on the premise that it's not too long, and it also takes a lot of time. Obviously, you don't train with it. Maybe
I mean,
something like that.
I'd say like every 3.5, 4 months, I'll take a whole week off. A whole week off, no training, just eating good. And then when I come back, I usually come back heavier and stronger.
You train every day?
Pretty much.
I do as well.
I mean, the days that I don't train, I'm boxing. So I'm pretty much training every day. Yeah.
Nice speaking to you. Certainly will be speaking to you in the future when I
Yeah,
see you.
anytime, mate.
What a first impression. That sounded like a solid guy. Any tips? I'll certainly be asking him, that's for sure. And the personal trainers that work there as well. He just sounds like a sound lad. But anyway, as you can see, I'm doing my handstands, but I'm going to talk about something completely different. The ladies. So I was in the gym and there are a whole bunch of ladies there in tight clothing, and from time to time, I must say it was kind of distracting. However, I know something that quite a lot of people might not know. Single layered thoughts are not to be trusted. Yeah, if you're seeing these things, I genuinely was not trying to look at these ladies in a lustful way, but sometimes I did because the clothing's tight. I am keeping myself accountable by saying that I did this, but no pun intended, it's not like it's unjustified. We as humans look at things, if we're looking at a person, for example, say a man has a tight shirt. What are the odds that you're not going to look at his chest and his arms, especially if the man has a lot of muscle? Same goes for ladies with tight yoga bottoms. Same goes. However, I genuinely know in myself that I'm not going out of my way to be perverted or be a weirdo or creep of any sort. I absolutely am not. I unfortunately did look at some bottoms which ladies were wearing just as I was glancing around the room, and I was working through those thoughts. They weren't really. It wasn't really. I didn't really have any lustful thoughts consciously, but I think I could have been doing it subconsciously, as I felt the need to tell myself this. I know that if, for example, I were to in the future be dating one of these ladies, I could become docile. I could completely lose my drive and ambition that I have for doing what I do, both on and off camera. So not focusing on the task at hand simply is just not worth it. Sometimes I am going to glance like that, very unfortunately, especially if clothing's tight and there is absolutely no avoiding that. I'm not going to go out my way to try and force myself to not look in that way either. However, what I will instead do is work through those thoughts then and there and keep on reminding myself that those lustful thoughts that I might have subconsciously are single-layered and are not to be trusted, because they don't take my drive that I could lose into account. If I were to be dating one of these ladies and I were to be seeing them basically every day, which they might want, and they might in the future, for whatever reason, they might want me to start dating them and call them my girlfriend. That is a lot to ask, especially seeing as I have this much drive and this much ambition that I'm putting into not only the videos, but what I do off camera, as I've said. Those thoughts aren't to be trusted because they don't take my life in any way into account. Not my sexual health, not my mental health, not my physical health, in the form of potentially seeing these ladies every day and not bothering to go to the gym anymore because I would have expended so much energy through not only talking to them, but maybe having sexual encounters with them as well on a regular basis. Maybe, 2+ times a week. Here's a tongue twister for you guys. When I thought that thought I said I thought, I have now, during that time, just stopped looking in that way. I stopped. I did ask one of these ladies what the time was. No, not what the time was, but when the gym was going to close, because I thought that the gym was going to close early. I got the time and that was it really. That same lady that I did actually speak to, because she seemed to be training with a guy and that guy looked muscular. I'd say no older than 18, bench pressing 80 kg like it's nothing. She was there with him and he was saying, "Oh, don't look at me, don't look at me." I was looking. When he said, "Oh, I got two people looking at me," I said, "Lift the weight, man." Not in that way, not as hostile, but I said it in a less hostile way. I said, "Lift the weight, man," because he was just, that was just taking the piss as far as I was concerned. I don't like people who aren't serious. Just lift the weight. I in fact would encourage people to look at me lifting the weight, because they can tell me if my form is if my form's off or if it's all right. So I'd actually encourage that personally. I don't know why he was acting like that. Maybe he was just nervous because he might fancy that lady. Maybe not. I don't know. But I don't really care. I personally don't fancy that lady. I thought she looked a bit older than she did close up now, but I'd say she was around the same age. And I certainly would not date, but I'm certainly not dating a teenager. No way. They have not lived as far as I'm concerned. I barely have myself. However, I'm aware of that. That's the difference. That said though, I have been through a lot. Going back to the lady and the muscular guy. It's not the big man, it's a younger guy. They seem like they were flirting with each other, maybe. I could have got in the way of that as I was just looking at greatness. The guy was benching 80 kg, man. Come on. That's twice the amount I'd usually bench. That's greatness. As far I wanted to see that. But I don't think I was too invasive, because he wasn't telling me, "I don't feel comfortable with you looking at me, please leave," over and over and over again. He said, "Oh, I don't want you looking at me," but no, he didn't. He said, "Oh, now I've got two people looking at me. Just lift the weight." It sounded more nervous rather than just flat out telling me, "No, I do not feel comfortable with people, I don't feel comfortable with you looking at me, please leave." If he'd said that and he initiated that boundary, I don't know what you call it, I would have left for sure, as I do value boundaries. However, because I believe that I could have broken a boundary to an unhealthy amount, I will try and go out my way to not do that next time. Unless the guy, it'd be hard not to when the guy is lifting 80 kilograms plus. That's greatness right there, and I want to see greatness, trust me. But if, again, as I said, someone straight up says, "I don't feel comfortable with you looking at me, please leave," then I absolutely will, because he or she would have initiated that boundary, and I will follow it. Just like how they might want to initiate boundaries, I might want to do the same thing as well. And because I'd want people to respect my boundaries, I absolutely will respect other people's boundaries as well, even though I might not have done so all that much this time round. That's it for that. If I see these sorts of people training, I'll give further updates as I'm just learning how to lift more and so on. It's amazing to see people lift so much. I saw it in the previous gym I was going to, but the bar was 15 kg, and with the little smaller foundational strength that I had, I think subconsciously speaking, I might have thought that was basically impossible at that time, so I wouldn't pay as much attention to it, but I know I can get there. With the 20 kg bar, it's a lot easier for me to get there. So maybe that's why I'm looking and I see people lifting this weight as greatness a lot. Again, I did in the past, now I remember and have vivid memories of me smiling when I saw Harrison incline bench 35 kg, when that was a maximum dumbbell weight. I remember smiling when seeing another person squat over 100 kg. I was there with him. that person is a borderline friend of mine. I just would have to interact with him in many different environments to call him my friend, but me and him are on very friendly terms as far as I'm aware. Yeah, he's a big guy, big muscular guy doing big man stuff, just like how I'm on the way to doing with these videos. Oh yeah. But that's enough of that. I am now going to get into talking about these handstands now. All the handstands that have just finished playing, rather. That said, even though I said it like how I did, I felt the need to talk about that. And with these sorts of talks, like the one that I just had, I can keep growing and not judge myself in a destructive way for having such thoughts and thoughts alike. Yeah. The movements felt kind of strange. It did feel kind of strange and sometimes concerning. I was quite concerned sometimes, thinking, fuck, how am I going to get down? But I had to move my hands forward and then come down like the other times that I came down from doing the handstand. I think I might have to tense my core a lot when doing the handstand, but I'm not sure. I'm just getting used to doing it with help. As you probably saw during the clips, I tried kicking up to do a handstand without the help just to see how far I could get, and I'd only go about halfway or so because there's a lack of trust. Oh, and these wide push-ups, by the way, were a lot easier than expected, hence I gave the thumbs up. But anyway, speaking about the lack of trust, I'm going to have to really get used to doing handstands on the board before I would have developed more trust with kicking up and potentially holding a handstand without as much help from the board, and then eventually it will be no help. So I'll be using the board like how I've done now or during the session. I would then kick up without it and then balance with the board, with the help of the board, and then eventually kick up, handstand further and further and further away from the board until I could do it trusting myself without needing to be anywhere near the board at all. I can practice, in order to do this, I can practice both at home and also at the gym. I had thoughts of bringing some large covers with me to the gym so that I can have some more padding for when I do the handstands, for when I fall. It's not a matter of if, as far as I'm concerned, it's a matter of when. It's gonna have, in order for the process to take place, from me not being able to do them basically at all, like today, to me being able to do them, I am going to have to get comfortable with falling sometimes. It's bound, not necessarily going to, but it's bound to happen. There's this one guy on YouTube called Andrew Selena who does a lot of calisthenics. Big him up. And I remember him giving this one tip to himself in a sense, and I'll explain what I mean. So this one tip I'm talking about is him purposefully trying to throw himself off balance to overcome his fear of falling when doing the handstands. I might have to do that in the future, to go through the process of not being able to do handstands to being able to do them, just like how he has. Maybe in not exactly the same way and maybe in not exactly the same amount of days, but go through it just like how he's gone through it. Nonetheless, yeah. I noticed throughout the time that I was going through the handstand that I was getting closer and closer and closer right to the edge of the board. I was thinking, yeah, I've got right up to the 3 now, so I'm going to have to start feeling more comfortable with kicking up and kicking up without the board and then using the board to do the handstands in order to further progress. That progress might seem quite fast for some, but I think I'm ready because I'm able to get into the handstand position with the help of the board rather easily. I do, before doing that, need to feel comfortable with getting out of the handstand with my hands very close to the board. Once I do that, and I know how to get out of the handstand, when at times during this session I was thinking, fuck, how am I going to get out of this? I'll then move on to kicking my feet up without the help of the board. Yeah. I purposefully didn't stretch before going to the calisthenics, like how I usually would, for no reason in particular actually. I think I might have thought that I was already stretched, seeing as I stretched during the start of the session. And I also switched things up by doing the calisthenics first before weightlifting. So that might have been a part of why I actually decided to not stretch right before doing the calisthenics, like how I've done during the past couple of days. As you can see here, I'm trying to figure out how to do the arch push-ups properly. Oh my gosh, look at that form. Look at that form, oh my gosh. That form needs major improvement. And as I say, during my thoughts of my ability to do arch push-ups live, it needs a lot of work. I don't know if I said that word for word, I don't remember. It is quite late, but it needs a lot of work. I was filming that a few hours ago, probably around about in the early afternoon, and it's now 8 to 8 in the evening as I'm making this voiceover at this point, after doing the editing that I've done for the conversation and also for the warm-up. It's taken a lot of time, but I don't mind that because I really like these projects. That said, I didn't actually think this video would have been so long, but that partly was because I was talking to the big man. The big man, he's massive. He's huge for someone that claims to be 5'2". He doesn't look that small to me. I thought maybe 5'7", but no, apparently 5'2". He is he's a big lad who's done a lot in terms of his muscle, in terms of his training, it seems. Yeah, man, shout out to the big man. Doing 160 on the leg press like it's nothing. Big up. Right, the thoughts that I had on my arch push-up ability are going to play at the 48-minute, 23-second mark right now. I've probably been here for about an hour now, and the gym is going to close sooner or later. So I'm going to carry on. I'm gonna move on to lifting weights, because I don't think I'm gonna further progress with these arch push-ups and be able to have a solid weightlifting session today. So I'm just gonna leave it there, other than to say this one thing before moving on to lifting weights. I need to actually learn how to do arch push-ups properly. I was thinking I was there less than a month ago. I thought I was nearly there, but I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know if I stick to one side when doing the reps per set. I don't actually know. So I'm gonna go out my way to go and watch more tutorials on it from people like Hybrid Calisthenics, which I've seen in the past. Big up Hampton. And I'm gonna just refresh my knowledge on how to do arch push-ups properly. And then from there, I'll go at it tomorrow and keep on going. As for the handstands though, solid. I might need to keep on tensing my core, as I might need to tense my core more as I do the handstands, but other than that, I'm just going to keep on going. See, maybe also watch some videos about how I can progress with the handstand, learn how to kick up. I don't know how I'll be able to do that safely in this place, because the floor is hard and there are only a few mats, so I don't know how I'm going to do that, but I can figure a way out, like maybe bring large quilts and covers or something, just in case. But yeah, other than that, made some solid progress calisthenics wise, and I'm going to move on to lifting weights now. Let's do it. Right, back to the voiceovers. I really pushed myself here during these shrugs. I didn't think that I would have got to 30 kg with these shrugs. If you told me that I would have done that, I probably wouldn't have believed you. However, because the gym was going to close soon, I was thinking I need to push myself and lift before time's up. So that's what I did. And when I say push myself, I mean lift the weight on the shrugs that I've never lifted before. And again, that's what I did. 30 kg for 20 reps. I probably would have not done that if the gym was not going to close soon, because I might have gave myself time to think, oh no, I can't do that, it's not possible. But I didn't have that time set aside. I had to finish the rest of the session that I had in mind, because I wasn't going to be able to do it any time later than that today, because the gym would have closed and I don't have memberships elsewhere, so that just would not have been possible. I cancelled my gym membership at the old place. Now I'm here in a place that suits my long-term aims a lot more than the previous place did, for reasons I can't explain. But as I said in the previous video, it fits the goals of that specific gym, but not my goals, and which is fair enough. They're tending to people that aren't like me, and they are very openly doing that. Not out of prejudice or anything, but for reasons I can't explain. For anonymity. But yeah, that's what was going on. So I felt the need to move, made sure I felt happy with the decision I made. I made it, and now sometimes if I see the gym that I recently cancelled my membership at, I do not feel any way about it, because I made sure that I not only liked the idea of what I was signing up for at this place that I'm now training at, but I made sure that in my mind the cons far outweighed the pros to staying in the place that I used to have my gym membership at, both days before cancelling the membership and also when I was going to cancel the membership. Made sure that I was making that decision with a calm mind and a calm body. That look that I just gave someone was because he was doing hip bridges at quite the heavy weight. I respect that. I respect people putting themselves through, voluntarily challenging themselves. I respect that, because it's something that I do, and I know how far I'm getting in my life, both on and off camera, because of it. I respect that, because quite a lot of people aren't doing that, and it does take a lot. It's worth it. It absolutely is worthwhile. And now that I'm in, I don't want to get out of this way of life. But even though that's the case, it does take a lot to do. It's a lot of fun, but yeah, some people, I'll just put it like this, some people absolutely would not be willing to do what we do at the gym. And that's not only at this specific gym, I'm talking about gyms in general, excluding Planet Fitness, on the premise that Planet Fitness is actually like how people stereotype it to be, with the lunk alarm unnecessarily going off unnecessarily. Yeah, anyway, I am now going to say it's about time that I talk about my arch push-ups more. I say this because I've now just remembered that I have talked about them when the arch push-up footage was showing, but I'm going to do it anyway because I said I wanted to talk about it, so let's do it. I would usually see people, in my mind, when you do arch push-ups, I think you go from side to side. However, I've seen Hampton from Hybrid Calisthenics and Andrew Selena only do their reps on one side. I remember Hampton saying in one of the videos that he doesn't like switching from side to side as he does his reps. He only likes doing it on one side. And to be fair, I think I can understand why, because it can be quite difficult to constantly change your hand positioning after every rep so that you can actually do the arch push-up to the best of your ability as you go from side to side, or as you switch from side to side when you do the reps. As for what I think about my progress, I absolutely will progress, but I need to watch more videos about it and allow myself to become more educated on how to do it properly. I've seen someone on YouTube called Minus the Gym do it as well, so I might watch him. That guy is a unit, an absolute unit. He's obviously put time into taking care of his health and his body. Sure, it could be steroids, but I mean, I'm there for the move. I'm there for learning the move. It's not like I'm looking at someone that has a physique of Big Ramy. I think we can all agree that that is obviously steroid usage being involved. Oh, here you go. I was telling myself to keep going. I just thought of keep going. So I did. So I get to 20 reps, I think. No, to get to 12 reps. And then I thought of going back to doing 20. I thought I went straight to it. I might have done. I haven't counted my reps, but yeah. That is how my traps went down. As you can see, absolutely finito. And now we go into the deadlifts. Before I talk about my deadlifts though, I want to talk about my shrugs a bit more. So that 30 kg dumbbell was tough to carry. I felt the need to support my left hand when carrying it with my right hand by placing my right hand on the edge of the dumbbell as I was taking it off the rack. It was that heavy to me. However, that will change over time as I become stronger and I gain muscle. As for the not archer push-ups, as for the shrugs themselves, in terms of weight progress, I like how far I've come today, and I'm going to have the same motives for tomorrow. So I'm going to go start off with a fairly heavy weight and then push. I'll say I'll start off with about 15 kg so that I warm up and then keep on going in fives like how I did during this session. But instead, unlike today, I'll go out my way to push past 30 in 2.5 kilogram chunks. So 30 to 32.5 to 35 to 37.5 and then to 40 eventually. I probably wouldn't do all of those at one go. And if I could do 40 kilogram shrugs, then I'd probably start off with a heavier weight, such as 20 kilograms to warm up, as I certainly would be able to do it. Ability-wise, it would be the same as me doing 15 kg shrugs to start off with, but as I'll be getting into my shrugs. But yeah, that is all I have to say for them. The only piece of advice I have is to really keep going, and if I want to make it really difficult and carry on gaining strength and eventually muscle, maybe go slower with the reps, maybe not, because I was doing them quite fast. So to exercise, doing the reps with control, I'd say from time to time, or maybe all the time, go slower. That said though, that would probably get boring after a while, and I want to push myself in different ways. So I'll follow that advice somewhat seriously, but from time to time, I will go fast, depending on what I want to do and depending on what my goals are. Maybe in the future, when I've built more on my knowledge than I have at the moment, I might think I want to do training sessions to train slow twitch muscle fibers and fast twitch muscle fibers in particular. I don't know how to do that right now, and I don't know what the benefits of doing them, training them singularly or separately in particular would be, but in the future I might want to do that. So when it's time, I will, yeah. But anyway, now I'm going to start talking about the deadlifts, yeah. I found out, I think as I said at this nearing the start of the video, that nearing the start of the voiceover, that the bar itself weighs 25 kg, and I didn't actually know that I was hitting a PB of 65 kg, but now I do. And I can keep on going from there. But the only piece of advice I'd give myself here is to take gloves with me so that it's not as uncomfortable on my hands as it was today. I don't like the discomfort for 1 and 2. I don't want calluses. There's no need. I can lift the heavy weights and not callus up my hands. I don't need that. I'm looking to become stronger, but I don't need to put myself through that sort of pain. That's not pain that's gonna help. It's gonna help me out really. It's not like muscle soreness, it's just destroying my hands as far as I'm concerned. It would be my body, developing rough skin to adapt to the harsh environment that I'd be putting my hands through in the form of lifting heavy weights with on the rough patches of the bar/barbell. I don't really know, but I'm bound to find out as I keep on going to this gym. I did quite a bit here. Oh, by the way, this is 30 kg on each side plus the 25 kg bar, so that's 60. Yeah, that is 60 right there. And then I went from that to 20, which is 65. To 220 kg plates, which is 65. And then I'm just going to keep on going from there. If for whatever reason I think I need to have lighter wrist wraps, then I'll bring them. As I have seen muscular guys in the gym with lighter wrist wraps, and that might help them with their training. So I might go out my way when I have a job to get lighter, less thick wrist wraps for different styles of training, or depending on what I fancy. Which wrist wraps I fancy, yeah. I might find that I prefer the thick ones, or I might find that I prefer the lighter ones. I might find that I prefer the thicker ones on certain days and the lighter ones on certain days. I don't know, but I'll find that out over time. I saw someone wearing the wrist wrap only on their wrists, but I find that if I have it a bit on my hands, then that protects me from feeling a lot of pain in my hands where my wrist and hands connect whilst I'm doing the bench press, for example, and for that reason I've always just done them like that. I can try without and see if that helps. I could try just putting them on the wrist and not on the wrist and hands to see if that helps. But especially on the bench press. But I don't know. I'll see if my wrist really hurt. If I put, depending on how heavy I go, like 30 kg plus on the bench press. I'll see if I find wrist wraps on the wrist only help and my palms don't hurt a lot as I'm doing the reps, then I might just do that from now on. But I can certainly find out, and I probably will find out over the years of training that I'm on the way to doing. Yeah. My deadlifting was solid. I really pushed myself, especially with the little time that I had left, because the gym was going to close soon, as I've said many times. I just say maybe try and do 20 reps a set rather than 12. Oh, sorry. I said I did 60 kg reps just now, but yeah, the 5 kgs are here. I'm putting on the 5 kgs now, so it wasn't 60. It was 55. Sorry about that. There's so many voiceovers that I'm not going to change what I said back then. But yeah, to clarify, now it's 60. As I'm adding on to 5 kg plates. No, it's not. It's 55. It's 55, sorry. 25 plus 10, 35, plus 10, 45, plus 5, 50, plus 5, 55. Sorry about that. So that therefore means then that my PB wasn't 65 kg as I've said, it's actually 60. Sorry about that. I'm not going to go over and change that now. This is the 124th voiceover I've made. I'm not doing that. Although I do enjoy making these videos, and that's not a complaint, I just, if I were to go and try and edit it out where I said it, or where I said these things, this would not come out. This video would not come out, honestly. On that note, we move. I've just gone out of my way to download iMovie because I really have had enough of making over 100 voiceovers. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's probably less than 130. Yeah, it is. This voiceover is the 128th one. It's just basically clips, half sentences, sometimes full sentences, maybe like 1.5 or 2 of me just talking. It keeps cutting out on CapCut, and for that reason I might actually stop using it for now because I just don't like how many times I have to keep on holding the record button to do my voiceovers. It's extremely inconvenient. It takes longer to make the videos. 1, 2, my right thumb is so hot right now from doing this. 3, for those reasons, I just want to stop, at least for a while, and go back to iMovie. I probably, during March time, since I was having frustration with iMovie back during those times, like late February, early March, when I had that iMovie frustration talk, I probably wouldn't have thought that I'd go back to it, but specifically because I've just had enough of pressing the record button on the voiceovers over and over again, I genuinely might go to iMovie. I think I'll probably use both of them, honestly, depending on what sort of movie that I want to do, or what sort of video that I want to do. This actually is a movie. This is a movie length video though. I'm seeing 87 minutes and 53 seconds worth of footage. It's a lot. This is a movie. However, I do have something to say. I am going to start wrapping things up soon, voiceover wise, because it's 8:30 going on 9 in the evening when I'm making these voiceovers, and I probably started making the voiceovers hours ago at around 5, I'd say. So in order to get this out on time on the day, I am going to start making finishing off on the notes that I've set a couple of minutes ago or so, and then that will probably be done after I talk about the advice that I want to give myself for next session. Speaking of, I actually have to plan out what I want to do next session. I've got a workout plan, but I just need to pick a weightlifting workout that I want to do, and then that'll be me ready for tomorrow. I mean, for the workout at least. For the other aspects of my life, I need to go to sleep a lot earlier. And to be fair, it's 8:30 now, and I'm in bed now, and I'm going to be going to sleep early. You could bet that. Yeah, I'll sleep early and then do what I wanted to do tomorrow, in terms of what I wanted to do off camera, because this stuff is taking very long, and it's tough to do everything that I want to do on a daily basis if I'm getting up at 10:30 in the morning. This is veteran difficulty. It doesn't need to be this I don't need to make it this difficult. I'm trying to do everything that I want to do in one day when I'm basically not having an afternoon, when I'm basically not having a morning in a sense, because I'll be waking up so late in the morning at 10:30, or getting up in the morning at 10:30, sorry. Yeah, enough is enough. I'm sorting my sleep routine out. I've got a 6 o'clock alarm and an 8:30 alarm, which I've put on every day, which I'm taking seriously from now, because I really do want to improve how far I'm going with my life, to make it easier to do these videos to the standard that I'm doing them, and also to do what I want to do outside of this too, to help me progress in my life. Yeah. Now that I've got that out of the way, and now that that's settled, let's carry on talking about the other things that I made a note of. I didn't actually think that I spoke about the sleeping early thing. Sorry, let me try that again. I forgot that I made a note that I wanted to talk about that. But yeah, look, it's on my mind. It needs to be done. So, you can hear the headboard in the background. I'm serious. I'm in bed, about to go to sleep, after exporting this video and getting it out on YouTube. I didn't think that I'd be talking for this long. 1 hour, almost 1 hour, 10 minutes, plus a whole load of editing. I've been doing this for less than 6 hours now, from when I started to editing the video for the thoughts live, when I was doing the archer push-ups, editing when I was on the treadmill, so you could hear me only when I was talking. Oh, by the way, I thought that probably wasn't all that safe to put the plate down like that, but if anything, I can just take the weights off when the bar's flat, like how it is now. The last thing that I wanted to talk about was how tense my core felt after the session ended. When I was walking, I was oh my gosh. I went to go stretch, but as I was just walking around, my core felt so tense. Pardon me, and I'm not surprised. I use my core in so many of these different exercises. The shoulder press, the deadlifts, which I actually started going out of my way to feel more during these last few reps, during the very last set, I think. Before, I was just trying to get the reps in, but like Mike Thurston said, it would be sensible and within my best interest to really feel the exercise when I'm doing the reps, rather than mainly focusing on the reps themselves. Even though I can use them to guide me, it's sensible to feel them more so that I really go out my way to train myself and do the reps with control, which will mean I'm not only becoming stronger, but I am also further reducing the chances of injury, both short term and long term. This was a bit risky, trying to put 2 plates on at the same time, but I just could not be bothered. I was just wanting to get the both of them on. I was thinking, well, it's already happened, I may as well finish the job and not take one off. I'll just put them both on. Please don't do that again. It doesn't need to be this difficult. Plus, one of them could fall off and make it a lot more difficult to actually add the plate that I would be adding on. Plus, that just make a lot of unnecessary noise. When the plate drops when the bar drops onto the floor, it is quite loud, and it doesn't need to be. I could do it with control. This was actually quite difficult though, especially with how tired I was feeling by this point after doing the 45 kg deadlifts, 50 kg, and then 60 now. It was 45 kg, 55 kg, and then 60 kg, which I'm doing now. And then with these deadlifts, I can push from 60 kg and aim to get to 70 on the path to doing 100 kg deadlifts, and then eventually 150, and then eventually 200. Yeah, just keep on allowing myself to get stronger and stronger and stronger and more and more and more and more competent, which I am going to need not only for in my personal life, but just in my job as well, seeing as I'd be doing personal training, and I'm setting myself up to do that bit by bit, day by day, by waking up early, sleeping early, and getting up early to be able to do these videos and the level 2 gym instructor course stuff that I need to do, and eventually the level 3 personal training qualification stuff that I'll need to do. I'm setting myself up for many other healthy habits down the line. This is me checking the weight. I actually bent my head down as if I was looking at the barbell in real life, but yeah, it said 25 kg. That was me trying to say I'm about to lift what I think is 20 kg on the shoulder press. I did not do any shoulder warm-ups before this. Outside of the arm circles to start the session, I just went straight to it because the gym was going to close very soon, in less than 15 minutes. So I was thinking, let me just go straight to 20. And it was a lot easier than it was in the past. That was where I was finishing off. But then I hit a new PB with the shoulder press, because that's where I started off, at 25 kg. But I did that with arched back, because here's me about to lift 25 kg now, because it was that challenging for me personally, so I can dip my toes in both the 20 kg weight and the 25 kg weight more and more and more and more. And I could also start off with lifting 17.5 kg, so I use that as a warm-up set, and then allow myself to get stronger that way by having a fairly heavy weight to start off with, or what I consider a fairly heavy weight to start off with, and then increasing the weight bit by bit by bit, maybe to 20, and then to 25, and then to 27.5, 30, and so on. Yeah. Same idea goes with doing the Facepulls, which work my rear delts. I'd also like to say with that exercise, which I'm about to do now, I would like to stop leaning back. That means if I'm leaning back and I'm not doing it with a straight back, I'm using more of my back to do this lift, as far as I'm aware. I picked the wrong equipment to do this move, which was the rope. That's the wrong equipment. I thought that was the right one, but then I picked the appropriate equipment, which looks like it's a bit damaged. That was me saying I'm about to lift 15 kg. Again, I started at that weight. Here's me realising it was the wrong equipment. I started at that weight rather than a lighter one because the gym was going to close soon. So I went straight to it, got to it without putting much thought into it, and just went for the jugular. Because of that, I hit a new PB with extremely cheated form, but it was a new PB nonetheless. This is proper form. I'm not leaning back. However, at 20 kg and at 22.5 kg, I was leaning back quite a bit. You can see me go further and further and further out of frame as I was finding it more and more and more difficult to do. So I can challenge myself to lift 20 kg with a straight back rather than trying to go to 22.5 kg. So I'm lifting heavier with proper form. And then from there, I can go to 22.5, 25 and so on. Alright, it's about time I start talking about my advice for what I'd want to do tomorrow. Outside of sleeping early, I'm going to come up with more pieces of advice that I can use for tomorrow. And then other than that, I'll just let the footage play. Reason being, it's 8:52 p.m. and I want to get this video out today, and it's a 1.5 hour movie. It's going to take a while. It'll probably take like maybe 20 minutes or so or maybe half an hour to export the video, and then another 40 minutes to an hour to upload it onto YouTube. So I'm going to start ending the voiceover here. I didn't think that I'd be making a voiceover for this long. It's not the whole 1 hour 17 minutes as we've got up to now, but it was a lot of talking that I've done so far. Just to show that it was 22.5 kg more easily, I just screenshotted the video, one frame of the video clip of me showing that it was 22.5 kg, so it wasn't me just repeating that clip over and over again and then it got distracting. I completely finished the water bottle here, hence the camera's panning up because it wasn't enough. The bottle didn't weigh enough for the phone to be able to keep on filming the way it was. This is me when I started tapping my lower back. This is me just saying what felt sore. Oh wow, now we're back. Now we're to the stretches to end the session. I've been talking for that long. Wow. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna start talking about the advice that I want to give myself for tomorrow. Please get some early night's rest. Well, that's actually for today anyway. Sorry. Please get some early night's rest. I'm in bed already, so it's not going to be that difficult. Then from there, for my gym session tomorrow, do it early, because these videos take time. I've been doing this for less than 6 hours, and that's excluding the time it's going to take to export this video from CapCut to the camera roll, and then from the camera roll to YouTube. This sort of video with this amount of editing takes time. So I'm gonna go super early, or if I don't, at least a lot earlier than I have done today in these past few days, as I've been getting up at 10:30 in the morning. Can't be doing that anymore if I want to make these videos to this extent, to this long, and with this much editing and this much detail, and do everything that I set myself to do outside of that. Not happening. For the reason of, as I've been getting at, reaching my full potential in all aspects of life, it's within my best interest to go a lot earlier than I have done for these past few days, due to sleeping late and getting up late, waking up late, getting up late, because I'd be getting into bed way too early at around 4 due to exerting myself so much in the gym and just allow myself to go straight to bed. If I want to have a healthy sleeping routine, I can't do that. And if I want to reach my full potential in every aspect of my life, I can't do that. The reason why I'm swinging my legs here is just to ease off the quad stretch, but during one of these reps on either my right leg or left leg, I think it was my right from memory, I actually felt it in my hamstring when I swung my leg without shaking my feet like how I just did then a few seconds ago. So I could probably not shake off, stretch my hamstrings like that less intensely, alongside doing the more intense hamstring stretches. Maybe, yeah, I didn't feel like I was on the verge of injury, so I actually don't mind doing that. I don't mind further pushing out my legs to feel it in my hamstrings whilst I do my quad stretches like how I just did. These are the more intense hamstring stretches that I was just talking about a few seconds ago. Outside of the advice that I want to give for myself today, I've thought of advice that I want to give myself longer term. Right, here goes. I would like to find a convenient way to be able to track my sets and reps like how I've seen one guy do with his gym journal and that, and be able to compare that to any planned sets and reps that I have. I might actually use a journal like how he's done, so I could do the certain exercises that I did, write that up, and then say how many sets, how many reps I did. So I could put a certain exercise, and then like a table, I'll put sets, and I'll put reps, and then I'll just do set 1, X reps, set 2, Y reps, set 3, Z reps, and so on. Yeah. I'm wondering if I could do that on Google spreadsheets on a document that I can make offline. That might actually be possible. I'll see what I can do here. I'm downloading Google Sheets onto my phone, and then I'm going to put that alongside where I keep all of my other exercise apps on the phone, so that it's easy to get to and it's within the same group of apps. Yeah. Right, that's downloading, and I've also booked my gym session for early in the morning as well, so that it's done in my mind, and so I actually at least more likely, I'm increasing the chances that I go to the gym early as I want. Yeah. I'm now just about to get down as I'm doing to do my hip flexor stretches, and before I talk about why I want to track my sets and reps, I want to talk about this. I was on the hard floor doing this, and it was extremely difficult to actually feel the stretch, as it was like half a stretch, half knee pain, because I was on the hard floor. So I change it up, and I get my big jacket that I was wearing, and I'll give the thumbs up in the video to say that, yeah, no more knee pain, and I really feel the stretch as I'm about to do right now in this video, or in this clip of this long movie long log. There are genuinely some movies that are shorter than this video I'm making, but I've made longer ones in the past. That said though, it's although it might take a lot of time, it's worth it in my opinion, because I really enjoy these sessions, and because I've taken more time making these videos, I'll be able to appreciate them a lot more when I look back and reminisce on these times when I'm in this chapter in my life, living with my parents, having a plan to really take things to a new level that I probably wouldn't have even thought is possible at this point in time. Allow myself to just live how I truthfully want to. So yeah, I'll be able to reminisce on these logs with a lot of happiness and pride, knowing that it was me making these videos basically by myself, with the help of tools that other people have made, like ByteDance in the form of this editing app, CapCut, CapCut, ByteDance, the same app that made TikTok. I'm just going to have to overlook that, because this app has been very helpful, to be fair. I don't have to overlook it, but I am going to for now. As I was saying, YouTube's also helping me by having a place to upload it. I could upload it onto the laptop, but putting it on the internet has just been a lot more convenient for me because I don't have to think about storage. I never have to think about running out of storage because I upload the videos onto YouTube. Well, actually, no, that's not true. Sometimes the video projects are so long that I do have to think about the fact that the storage is full. But that's at least a lot more rare compared to if I were just transferring the files from the phone to the laptop, for example. That laptop would eventually run out of space and I'd have to get USBs to have stashes of all of these logs that I would have made and all of the other videos outside of that I would have made. Yeah. But this video is somehow almost up and I'm still not finished. I don't know how, but hey, it is what it is. But I am going to get into why I think, why I want to do the planned sets and the planned reps. Like in the journal, for example, I can try Google Sheets and also in an actual paper journal. I could try out both and see how they go. But I'm going to actually get into why I want to do this some way or another, whether it's online or on the phone or on paper. Very basically, I want to do it so there's no guessing. There is no guessing how many sets and how many reps I did. In reality, if I had a plan for how many sets and reps I did, even if I don't have a plan, I can say I don't have a plan for how many sets and reps I'm doing for this session. At least I won't be guessing, unlike how in the future when I look back at these videos that I've made in this different gym these past few days, I'd have to really go out my way to work it out by myself, which I'm not going to do. I have better things to do in my life. Probably a lot better than, or a lot more important than I could probably ever think of in my life right now. When I do start reflecting on this chapter in my life, in which I'm living with my parents, as I've said. So I want to make sure that there's no guessing the sets and reps that I've done from now on. So I'll go out my way to go and journal. I can't believe that this video is almost finished and I still haven't finished talking. My right thumb is burning hot. Like, I could feel the warmth of my right thumb on my face, on my right cheek, as I've just put it there. It's silly. It's silly. I'm going to start using iMovie from now on. Anyway, that's that, and let's see what I get up to tomorrow. Cheers. Cheers to progressing and cheers to making longer logs like this one, like how I used to do back in the day, back when this channel was called a planking journey rather than a calisthenics journey. I would be doing many other videos. Actually, no, I'd be doing the one video a day, which would be the plank journey logs. So I would have more time set aside compared to how much time I have set aside now to make these sorts of long videos. However, the difference between back then and now is that after long enough, my video editing skills have become a lot more efficient and effective. Speaking of, I'm going to start using iMovie from now on. But anyway, I am done. I am absolutely finished. Cheers to making long logs like this. Cheers to progressing in the journey, and let's see what I get up to tomorrow. Peace. It's 9:30 p.m. now as I'm making this 199th voiceover, literally, no exaggeration. So I should be able to get it uploaded just before the end of the day. However, I'm gonna get on with that. So let's see what I get up to tomorrow. On a side note, or PS, I have no idea how I managed to speak for longer than all of that footage combined. I have no idea. Maybe it's the passion that I have for this journey. Don't ask me how. Yeah. Anyway, I'm actually done now. Bye.